All right, so there's lots of new gun owners. Make sure that you're getting the right kind of training. Get the lowdown with me up next.
Nice.
See, with Alicia, right?
That was good, yeah.
Gun Prom is coming to the Inland Empire. Get your dresses and suits ready. Dust off those dancing shoes. Get ready to celebrate and support the Second Amendment. Join us and other Second Amendment supporters November 12th, 2022 at the March Air Museum in Riverside. Celebrate the delicious food, drinks, and dancing. Don't miss your chance to win some amazing prizes and support the Second Amendment at the same time. Get your tickets now at gunprom.com.
Gunprom.com.
Training.
All right, so what I want to do is I want to kind of share a little bit. Let's have a little bit of a talk. So when it comes to firearms training, right? So most of us, when it's time to go, what do? We go down to the range, whatever our local range is. We go in, we check in, we pull a target, we set up in the bay, we unpack our gear, and we're here in this range environment, and we're shooting at a target. And obviously, that target, it could be anything. It can be a silhouette, it can be bullseyes, zombie, there's all kinds of targets out there. But if you think about the process of when you are shooting and you're training, whether you're just learning or you're a seasoned, experienced shooter, we kind of think of that as marksmanship. You are practicing your marksmanship skills. I would just like to encourage and kind of have a little talk with all of us about the difference between marksmanship and defensive shooting. And a lot of people, when they say that they want to get trained or that's recommended they go get training, a lot of people envision marksmanship. They learn about grip, they learn about stance, they learn about trigger, they learn about sights and sight alignment, sight picture, and how to make that perfect shot. And if just simply having some fun at the range is your goal, or having fun with friends at the range, that's great. But if you have a firearm for the purpose of self-defense, whether it's that you decide to conceal carry or that you are simply just have it in your home for home defense, I would highly encourage you to kind of look at some other types of training, more defensive shooting. And that is not something you're going to get on the range and with that marksmanship mindset. And so...
Okay, so let me be the devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Which should you do or become proficient at first?
So those marksmanship skills, in my opinion, are critical to start with. I think that's a great foundation.
That's where you should start.
Correct. If you don't have that foundation, if your grip is not good, if you're if you don't have good trigger press and trigger control,
right,
your skills are going to be lacking. And so if you jump right into a defensive shooting type training, you don't have that basic good foundation, and you might struggle a little bit.
And you might be based on more adrenaline in a defensive shooting situation than a controlled target shooting. And I agree. You should be able to know the gun, hit the target, and once you do that, continually do that, and then I agree. You should do both, really.
Absolutely.
But most people think all I got to do is learn how to hit the target.
Correct. And then they think that they're good and they're done.
Yeah, and if you can get an aggressor to stand still, then fine. Then you don't need to do any other kind of shooting. But, it might be difficult to get that perp to stand still.
And I think that the public at large doesn't realize that there's these other opportunities that they have open to them. And I just wanted to kind of just start getting that word out there.
That's right. Do you do both, Mike?
I do. I don't do nearly enough training is what I do.
You haven't hardly done anything lately.
But what I used to do is I used to go to a 4-day class once a year. And it was a class that started at the very basics of this is a gun. And by the end of the class, by the end of the 4 days, you were actually taking a test where you were pulling from concealment.
Right.
And it was, I liked the fact that it was back down to basics, once a year like that. But I stopped going, so I got to figure something out.
And you'll have to admit, Alicia, 4 days, once a year, not probably enough.
It's a good start.
No, it's not.
Well, how many days did you do?
I do 360.
Whatever.
I shoot as I go home. Roll the window down, take out a few tires. To those idiots that don't know how to... No, I'm only kidding. Not as much.
It's tough to say, Alicia. What's like a rule of thumb? Like if you're someone who carries concealed, every day, what's the rule of thumb? Like how many hours?
You're good at hitting the target. You've got the grouping. You got that figured out. Exactly.
what is what's the rule of thumb? What's the minimum you think?
That's a very involved question. So, are we
Well,
talking?
we got 2 hours.
I know. Well, not anymore.
I know.
So at a minimum, my opinion, I would say at a minimum, you should be out there. Now, there are some ranges that will allow you to draw from concealment, that will allow you to draw from holster. So find one that will accommodate you if that's your situation, if you're a concealed carry. Find one that will accommodate you. And I would say at the very least, minimum, be out there monthly, at least.
Well, look at Action Jackson.
Right.
I mean, 10 years old, and he shoots, well, he was until the Glock store folded, but he was shooting every week.
Right.
But he was only shooting,
The 22.
and he was shooting target.
No, he was shooting a 9. Yeah,
Was
he
he?
shoots a
Okay.
9
Yeah,
millimeter.
he's shooting, but he was
Okay.
shooting target. Target.
Correct. But at the Glock store, that's that 360 room. You have a run and gun type of environment. And that's what he was doing.
Oh, was he?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
It is target, and I'm not saying that targets are not a good idea.
No.
My point is just that the mindset of standing in a bay. All right, you know what? Take a minute. You know, get your stance, get your footing. You know, get your body how you want it, and and you complete your grip. And it takes you a set amount of time to kind of get all those things in alignment and get everything ready. You bring the gun up and you take that perfect shot. Well, you just had an infinite amount of time to do that.
Right.
But in a real life defensive situation, you don't have the luxury of the time and the ability to get everything perfect and set the way that you want it. And so you need to practice that. You need to practice and train how you would live.
Well, it's interesting. Jason Ostell, who's on KUSI, he just got himself a new gun. He got a Glock.
I heard.
He's all gag. And so now he's tired of going to the indoor range and just shooting at a target.
Okay.
And he came up to me, he says, I think I just need more. I said, I just don't feel fulfilled.
That's the spirit.
That's what I said. And I said, well, that's because you need to now do some running and shooting. And he goes, yeah. I should just talk to Manny. Manny will hook you.
Jumping out of a helicopter.
Well, and I was talking to the lady that I asked you if you knew her, and you said no. She had just got a Glock. Has no clue what she's got. All she knows is a Glock. And she can't rack it.
Not uncommon.
Not uncommon.
She needs a class.
She needs a class. That's what I told her.
But one of the things I used to do years ago, I haven't done it in a while, and I would love to get back to it, is just entering some of these informal IDPA or USP, what is it,
USPSA.
USPSA, some of these informal pistol matches where you're pulling from a holster and getting shots on target with time pressure.
Right.
It doesn't even feel like practice. It just feels like fun.
Well, and you don't need to be panicked and say, oh, well, I can't do that. I've never.
But I got to tell you, no, you don't. But I got to tell you, you do that once every month or every other month, that's a ton of practice that you don't even realize.
You think that's enough?
I would be happy with that. Yeah. Your Lemon Grove Run and Gun here locally in San Diego is going to be the closest outdoor range that allows that has those matches.
There's a range in Poway that has something they call the Downrange Challenge every Friday night.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that range?
Poway
Weapons and Gear.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I was allowed to.
No, you're
Yeah.
allowed. And the
PWG
mayor
probably.
says that's the best range.
It's a great
San
range.
Diego
It's
County.
fantastic. Well,
The
that
mayor of Poway, of course he's going to say that.
Of course he said that.
but that Downrange Challenge gives you the opportunity to get out from the firing line and actually move and do some dynamics. And they set up barricades, and the course changes every Friday. So you can get out there, and it's $10 for a run through. It's
Only $10.
It's only $10.
We loan you the money.
I could use $10. Yeah, that'd be
Okay, I'll
great.
hook you up.
But it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of new shooters there too.
And it's
so
not. What is it? What about an hour and a half, something like that? Or
No,
a couple
sometimes
hours?
they increased it. It was 2 hours. Now it's 3 hours. But you're going to go through. It's almost like an amusement park where you're going to stand in line for
Right.
about
He
30
doesn't
minutes,
stand in
20
line.
minutes,
and then you're
shoot
going to
for a
run
minute and a
through
half,
for a
yeah.
minute, and then you're just going to wait again. If you can pay whatever you want for it, but
But I guess what I'm saying is it's not an enormous commitment out of your life.
Yeah.
no, it isn't.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.